Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Toasting to the crew.
We got full house today.
Yes.
Everybody's back. Cheers.
I love it.
I see you, Latif. I see you, T. I see you, boy.
We miss you, Mokita.
Yeah, we miss you, Pig. Come back. Join us.
Mokita. Mokita got a game today?
Yeah.
She coaching.
Got a game.
She had a game. Right. She got a game like Damon.
What time for the game?
Hey, Brandy.
Right.
How you doing?
One time for a Latif Donnell Jones battle right now.
Great. This is hilarious.
Oh boy, y'all coming out swinging. Y'all coming out swinging. Lord,
Ebony, why you look like you got in Keter Care? Why you look like you're sitting in Keter Care corner?
I like you guys' vibe, Latif and Roy.
Look.
Brandy, say when you love someone, you just don't treat them bad.
Oh, we see you.
Brandy doing the smoking for Friday. You see her there? She like.
Oh, that's B. That's cute with your little shirt.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Y'all missed the show last week. We had Wendy Raquel Robinson on here.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad I missed Tasha Mack, man. We had Tasha Mack on the show, and I didn't get a chance to
That's
talk
why
to
Will's
Tasha
not
Mack.
with us tonight, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we had Principal. On.
Our favorite principal. Our favorite principal.
Greer.
She's gonna always be Tasha Mack.
I'm glad you received
that.
She
was like, I ain't been a principal in so long.
that was Principal Greer.
She was like, I've been a whole bunch of other things since then.
Right.
She will forever be Tasha Mack.
She was letting us know she's been working. I've been working.
Right. Like,
Tasha Mack
threw it way back.
She coming back.
Yeah, I heard. I saw that.
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah.
Well, she couldn't confirm it last week, but yeah, she couldn't confirm that. But we know Tasha Mack coming back because Paramount said it. Right? Yeah, Paramount said it.
I wonder what was so pressing for them to be like, you know what, we need to bring that back.
Well, they said that culturally it needed to come back because remember they were on the brink
because of what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, that was a good show, man. That was a really the game was a really good show, man.
It was my favorite show.
Yeah, the game was a good show, man.
I don't think I knew that was from Girlfriends.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, I still can't even put them together.
She was Tracy Ellis Ross's cousin. Melanie was Tia.
Oh,
Tia was. Yeah.
And I know, and she also plays on Insecure as Issa Rae's mama, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Because I watch Insecure.
No, that you ain't paying attention, Miles.
Well,
you know too many of the characters, Miles.
Hey, Roy, I watch P-Valley too, but that's a whole nother conversation.
That's so funny.
Hey, P-Valley was up for some awards on the BET Awards.
I've never watched that show before.
We were up for the award.
Right.
You know what? You gotta stop being silly tonight.
Listen,
wait, shot. We need to get shot. We need to give a shout out to
get naked.
I got a
shout out to Dana. Shout out to Dana and Dana's newborn.
Yeah,
man. Real talk, man.
Dana, Daddy, Big Daddy,
Big Daddy.
Now there we go.
Papa Dana.
We done going back to P-Valley real quick.
Papa Dana.
What'd you say, Dana? I love it when you call me Big Papa. Hey, hands in the
air. That's hilarious.
So,
Ebony, I heard you.
You know, after the show, we had comments talk about, yeah. So, what's up with your girl, Wendy? What's up with your girl?
I'm sure.
Oh my God!
That's
William.
William. That's why Will. I noticed Will's not here. That's all I'm saying.
Don't say it. Don't say it, Will. Don't say it. Say it ain't so.
Nice.
I'm just saying. I think Will might still be in detention.
Your shot, man.
Always in the
shot. You never know.
Always in
your shot.
I got a word.
That boy is
Will is in CSI right now.
Always
principal careers office.
Always on, never off.
I'm going buying some white linen.
I'm not confirming or denying who you are saying said it. I'm just saying after the show, this person was like, so yeah. What's up with your girl, Wendy?
What I'm talking about. Always on.
I'm just saying when folks are noticeably absent from one week to the other.
That's right. That's right, Brandy.
I'm just saying it's not a coincidence.
Shoot that shot.
Shoot that shot, baby. Swish.
Oh man.
No. He's shooting air balls right now.
Nah.
Not air balls.
Not that one. I'm saying not that one. My goodness, guys.
Boy, my dog be hitting them.
He ain't shooting no air balls.
He ain't shooting swishes either, though. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think he is.
Let that man get a bank shot in every now and again. You know,
I think William got a few layups. Got a few layups. Dwight, I think he got a few layups. You know what I'm saying? Drive to the basket. And one. And one.
They call it Gables. The boom swish. Hit it with the boom swish. With the bank shot.
Williams one of those that take a shot. You be like, no. Oh, good shot, Williams.
Funny, Roy. That is hilarious. Roy, don't do it. Oh,
no. Oh, yes.
Good shot.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
Good shot, homeboy. Don't do that again. Good shot.
That was good.
Whatever you do, don't do that again.
That was good. Hey, mommy, finally. Love it.
Are you saying finally Williams should have shot the shot? I see you, Miss Bear.
No.
Lord Jesus.
Hey, it's Good Friday. Ebony mentioned that. Did we acknowledge the fact it's Good Friday?
Good Friday.
It's not just Good Friday. It's Good Friday. Yeah, it's
Good Friday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lord,
it's good.
Good Friday.
And that part
been good.
Good day.
Definitely has.
And yesterday was April Fool's Day. Did you guys see this?
Show and be you, live the way you want to live, do what makes you happy, because I did, and I am happy that I did it. So I just wanted to say, April Fools, come on, man! The Gap is here to stay for a little while. Not going anywhere anytime soon. So, April Fool, everybody. I had a good time. I actually feel bad. I feel really bad about actually not closing it after everything that I saw. But the Gap is here. The Gap is not going anywhere for a while. My mama likes it. So, there you go. For you, mama.
That was cute.
That's what's up, man.
It was. He got me.
Yeah.
I thought he did.
Yeah, he got me too.
I was like,
definitely got me.
I thought he had done it too.
We had a conversation.
He got me
about
good.
That. I was like, no.
I was talking about him. I was like, he sold his soul.
I was like, that's your trademark. You can't do that.
Listen, he pulled Nicole. He pulled Nicole Murphy with the Gap, so I figured he was gonna keep the Gap.
Well, you know,
maybe he been insecure this whole time.
He's on it today. Okay, every topic he got a jump shot for it.
That's all like I see it. You know,
own it.
Yeah, as a fellow Gap haver, you know, I was a little disappointed that he tried to revoke his membership. I'm happy he kept it though.
Yeah, me too. Cause they had like the Lou Rawls prosthetic teeth.
They were looking like chiclets.
Yeah.
Oh no.
First of all, shout out for the Lou Rawls reference on.
I mean, that's his signature. I mean, you can't get rid of that. That's what makes you, you know. And it's been very unique to you. And everybody has their own distinct physical characteristics. All of us do. And his just happens to be in the front of his teeth, and we tend to like it.
What is the problem?
That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my God.
In the front of his teeth.
Yes. His is in the front of his face. Yes.
I mean,
in the middle.
In the middle.
in the middle of his face.
I'm gonna tell you this though. I'm gonna tell you this. When you young, kids tear you apart about your gap. I ain't gonna lie. I've heard everything from slot machine to you hear it all. So when you have a gap, you grow up wanting to close that gap. I ain't gonna even lie.
Of course.
You went through that. You went through that.
My
You was moving around as much as you was.
What? I got friends to this day. Ray, we'll talk about my tea so bad.
There was this post that this guy put, like, he was like talking about his gap, and he like put a piece of paper, he put a credit card, he put something else. It was like it fit. And then I don't know, I think Kerwin did it.
Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Oh,
and he was
like,
it was a Chinese girl, and she had none of this was here. So she put like her phone, she was like, it fit. Then she put her tablet, it fit. And she was putting a stamp, it fit. Like, I was like, this is funny. Kerwin, what's his last name, Dwight?
Claiborne.
He did it. He talking about what you talking about, stupid. I mean, it fit. Go ahead and sit down with your stupid self. You trying to do something, it ain't even all that. That was hilarious. I gotta send it to the group.
That's funny.
But it was a good April Fool's joke. This girl at my job, she brought in two.
It was a good one.
He thought about it. He had to think about that
Dunkin'
for a while,
Donut
right? He had to think about it for a while.
Hey,
yeah, because it was it was too good. It was too good.
It was. He involved the doctor and everything.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, those prank teeth were quite prodigious.
Yes, prodigious.
Let's go, Miles. They've been too slow.
Miles, you say you too slow, Miles.
Did you see he was taking your place when you were
prodigious.
Keeping you good.
Dana said it's a challenge. It's going down.
No.
It's a teamwork gonna make the dream work.
Thank you, Dan.
That's
I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate it.
Dana has
on your job, Miles.
Here's the difference, though,
Dana come
Miles.
with synonyms, homonyms, momonyms, all that.
Not momonym.
Mama through, Dana.
I think Dana has federal vernacular. And so
that is hilarious.
Look, that's that after 8
federal vernacular.
Federal vernacular.
That's that.
We put cuss words together that we didn't even know went together.
Shut up.
That is funny.
Oh my God.
Well, in honor of the fact that Miles is back, I just wanted to bring up the topic that the
privacy.
They got the crack report, and they're not releasing any information. So I'm still unsure to what the witch hunt is about Tiger Woods, but it continues.
I think they were trying to find something on him, and it was nothing, so they had to let it go.
Agree.
For the record, I'm just gonna say
no comment.
No comment.
Right.
Miles, why is there no comment? You have a very strong opinion. Wait. You and Ebony have a very strong opinion about Le Tigre Woods.
Le Tigre, his privacy.
El Tigre.
El Tigre. I think that because they didn't find anything on him as they try to do on most African Americans. Right. They were just like, okay, nothing's wrong. We're going to leave it alone. We're going to allow this to go on out and roll on out, and we're just going to allow this to not unequivocally manifest itself into something bigger, to vilify us even more.
Yeah, I agree. Because those are black tendencies in his investigation, and if I am correct, Miles and Ebony.
Steve, I don't know if my dad ever shared this sound piece of advice. My dad used to always say, "Nothing kills a brother quicker than electricity and white women." So
nothing kills a brother
quicker than electricity and white women, and so Tiger Woods has had his fair share.
Electricity.
Wow.
Electricity and white noise.
Somebody else said it, Roy, not me.
What is that? What is that? Lyric from Tiger Woods, y'all? That's from a song.
No. That's from a movie. He was in that movie.
That's from Chris Rock. That's from a movie.
That's from Chris Rock. He was in that movie where he was switching from body to body as he kept dying, and he had on the outfit, and he slid across, and he said, "Tiger Woods, y'all."
I like I like my man Jeffrey Wright when he played Peoples, and he said,
Tiger Woods.
I like you.
I like you. I like you.
Tiger Woods. I like you.
Yeah, Miles. I know he's guilty in your eyes, Miles. Just
man.
Every day
I don't want to piss off the host. So I'm not gonna say nothing.
I'm leaving Tiger Woods alone. Every day, more and more information is going on with this trial, and you know what? This reminds me of another topic that we didn't have down for today. So, Dwight, can you bring us up to speed with the trial, the George Floyd trial? And really, it is not George Floyd's trial.
Yeah,
honestly.
Derek Chauvin's trial.
Yeah, they're sitting there crucifying him, and it's not his trial. But after we talk about that, just in case I don't remember, let's talk about how they're rolling back a lot of the laws or creating all these voting laws about passing out water. Yeah, okay, but let's start with George Floyd.
Yeah, so the trial kicked off this week. After a lengthy jury selection, you got a mixed group of jurors. You do have some black folks there, but the prosecution was presenting its case over the course of the week. Everyone from the EMT that picked up George Floyd to Chauvin's supervisor to a number of eyewitnesses, including an MMA fighter, all giving testimony around the fact that Chauvin
is a murderer.
Chauvin murdered him, by kneeling on his neck. But then the second piece, and I really appreciated the EMT's take on this, was in a moment of crisis, police are supposed to be first responders. And so the failure of both Chauvin and the officers around him to deal with the medical emergency showed criminal negligence. And so I think that was really one of the more damning testimonies that took place this week was that. Like it reminds folks that, the police first job should not be to kill people. It should always be to save people. They're supposed to be a life-saving organization and not a life-taking organization. And I think people forget that.
Yep.
But it seems, and sadly, they've been continuously justifying not being that for years.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh wow, that was a good comment. Yeah.
And that's what it, And my thing is if you want your image to change your image. And the thing is, if I got a cancerous teammate and he gonna make my team look like he's horrible, he got to change or he got to go.
Well, Dana, that's one of the things. That's one of the things that Miss Modkins gave me the opportunity to write for about the culture when they talk about the whole see something, say something culture. And I basically wrote a piece to just saying that it goes both ways, because here it is, you come to disenfranchised communities and you perpetually, incessantly ask black people, ask people of color, ask people that live in the hood to give up, to basically snitch on our friends that we know that's doing wrong. Snitch, if you see something, say something, snitch on them. But when
they don't want to do the same.
When the shoe is on the other foot and one of your fellow officers has committed an egregious action that may be excessive or that thereof, you keep silent. So how does this work?
Miles gonna make you get another bottle of water.
You're supposed to be leading by example, right? You're supposed to be leading by example, and you're supposed to be protecting and serving and leading by example. And if you want us to do it, then you should do it too. But we don't never see that side of the coin.
But what you need to understand and what you need to recognize is that as a society, that has always been the mantra of our society. The civil rights movement should not have ever been a civil rights movement for the simple fact that when you looked at it from the outside looking in, you just knew that every white person hated every black person outside looking in. And that wasn't the case. It was a small percentage of the white people doing these atrocities to the black people. However, the problem comes when the other millions of white people said nothing and did nothing and said anything to them to let them know that these atrocities were being done and the vilification was being done to our community. They allowed it to continue. I always tell the story about Pops when he opened up his practice and all the white doctors were telling him to go down to this bank to get a loan to open up his practice and they would give him the loan based on his future earnings. My father told them, no, I'm not going to do that. And then one dude kept pressing him to do so. And so my dad, to prove a point, went down there to do it. The dude did the back pedal, started doing the Michael Jackson dance machine, backwards and stuff, saying, no, we don't have that program anymore, what have you. So he went back, the dude said, oh, did you talk to him? My pops was like, yeah. He was like, so you got the loan? He was like, no, I didn't get it. He said, they told me they didn't have that program anymore. And so he was like, what you mean? Ben just went down there today and got it. And he was like, exactly. And so my problem with that is I'm not tripping off of the banks a little bit, but I'm tripping off of y'all that continue to go there and patronize the banks and not hold them accountable for the discrimination practices that they did to us on a consistent basis. Y'all continuously perpetuated that and perpetuated the behavior and did not hold their feet to the fire and hold them accountable so they will shoot and do and treat everybody with equality. That is the problem. I know racists and I know racism. They gonna be who they are. The problem is the gun ain't saying.
And that's
say the word you really wanted to say, Lateef. Say it, boy.
Don't let him say that. Don't tell him to say that.
Right. We need our rating. Those will jump up the ratings.
Don't do that.
Listen,
I think the point Jessica was raising about the voting rights had everything to do with what Lateef was saying. Sorry to cut you off,
no, you're
Roy,
good.
But I wanted to get that second point in. So we have these new laws coming out that are suppressive. You see the one in Georgia about criminalizing people who hand out water to people in lines.
Water. Yeah.
You know, basically saying that if you're voting by mail, you have to get reauthorization to vote by mail every election as opposed to signing up for multiple elections. All these things, to your point, Lateef, the fact that people, you know, that state legislators were complicit in passing these laws, that a black woman gets arrested for trying to see the governor sign it and no one says a word, kind of speaks to that same thing happening. And so I'm glad you named it, but we still got people out here being real silent about situations that should be blatant and obvious. And shout out to MLB for boycotting the city of Atlanta. That recently came out that they're moving the All-Star game and moving the draft from Atlanta. Delta and Coca-Cola have now come out. And so what I appreciate coming out of, you know, the killing of George Floyd is a real militancy that I haven't seen from a lot more people to say enough is enough, and that we're going to speak with our dollars, or at the absence thereof. And so, yeah, folks going to have to get all this smoke, if you know, at the end of the day. It
goes beyond the voting. I mean, with Asian bashing and stuff as well. I mean, it's the same sentiment. You know, even though they haven't been too kindly to the African American community, but now, of course, they see what it's like, and so now they're asking for help. Now, I do not condone the beating down of anybody at all. But what I do condone is what I do not like is like the last one that I saw on TV where a dude came up and kicked the lady, and two security guards in the building stood there and watched, and then one closed the door. So I don't want to get off track. Again, you gotta do something, and that's
society.
That's exactly.
Sad,
That is society.
Sadly, that's society.
I see it every day at
rather
my job.
It rather filmed than help.
Right. But I've seen
that's the worst.
my job. I've seen it at my job when someone says something off base, and then I correct them, or we get into, I ain't gonna say a verbal altercation, but I check them, and I'd be like, dude, nah, don't you ever say no crap like that again, and what have you. And then we get off the bus, dudes come up to me, yeah, man, that dude was an a-hole. And I said, well, why you ain't say nothing?
Right.
Why I gotta be the only one to say something? Well, I didn't make it uncomfortable.
Because they can whisper behind your back and call you the angry black guy.
Yeah, I think again. You made the point. Bro. I think it goes back again to the civil rights movement, where the silence was deafening with complicity, simply because as a majority, white America did not want to be ostracized from the privilege that they received from being white. So if in fact I speak up and I denounce racism and I denounce racial inequality and I denounce inequality, then
they don't want what's going to happen.
I'm ostracizing myself. Then the country clubs and the privileged arenas that I'm able to enter simply based on my white skin, that's taken away from me. Now who am I? You know what I'm saying? Now who am I? And I don't want that smoke. So you know what? I don't agree with it. But you know what? I can't say anything about it because my life will be affected by it.
Yeah.
And that's how they feel. And it goes back to that.
Well, it goes back to also back to legacy and comfort. Right now, I think it's easy to kneel. Right now, I think it's easy to say,
"Hey, it is, Roy. Of course it is.
Miles, y'all did Miles wrong." It's easy, but let the dust settle. Let's see what happens then. Let's see where that comfort.
But here's the thing, though. Karma is undefeated in every facet of society. She always comes back, and she always lets you know how this thing is going to end. She is always undefeated. So,
tell Karma to show up soon, immediately. How about that?
They didn't want us protesting. They didn't want us doing what have you. Oh, and all that stuff. Now all of a sudden they protest. Things go left. Everything hits the fan. Now all of a sudden, we gotta come together. We
talk about and all these hits and stuff. Y'all see Quavo and the elevator situation. All I gotta say about that is that I'm just glad there were no cameras and social media when we were in our 20s. I'm just saying that I feel like if there was this ability to see things that you didn't want publicized, all of us on this panel, we will really be in a different place if things that happened became public.
Especially Miles.
Stop the madness, Miss Mark, and speak for yourself.
Not especially Miles.
Especially Miles.
No.
I know.
I was a good boy.
Well, it's some stuff that you don't want out.
True.
Listen, Miles had to go all the way to rural Louisiana. Okay.
That is funny.
Hey, Dwight, I knew to take my loose behind all the way to Louisiana. I wasn't gonna be
and not to New Orleans, to rural Grambling, Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
Right.
They didn't even know what Grambling was.
I know.
I went all the way to Virginia.
Thing.
I went all the way to Virginia.
He was very wise.
I reported back to y'all.
Ebony,
don't y'all go up there.
Ebony said,
that is a shame.
He did a good thing.
Wait, I just was like, that looked like us snatching one of our friends up for like trying to fight. Me and April were just talking about that, trying to fight somebody or something. But it does take you back. I get what you're saying, Jessica, but it does take you back to what if they're still together, but the Ray Rice, I felt like, oh God, am I about to see something like this?
I
was thankful that I didn't.
I think nobody knows the context as to what was going on. Nobody knows what happened before that as to what was going on. They said that One person said she was arguing with somebody outside of the elevator,
like
and
he was
was
trying
trying
to
to
move
get her away.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
And then another person said she was trying to fight him, but like we don't know where it came from. And me and Jay were talking about this yesterday. I said it was something that said like LAPD is investigating. I was like, ain't nobody investigate Beyonce and Jay-Z and Solange. She kicked his butt in there.
Listen, Solange had to show them hands.
Solange was like,
listen, but what I'm saying
I love that video. I wish we could play it right now. It was the best.
Hitting him. And nobody wanted to investigate that, but you want to investigate this? That's crazy.
But I'll say there's a difference, and the reason I raised the difference is I don't know who saw the new Tina Turner documentary that just dropped, but we have to acknowledge as Black people that we carried a lot of toxicity in our relationships, a lot of trauma in our relationships, and we let a lot of stuff pass that should not have passed, right? Like putting hands on one another regardless of the circumstances should not have been the way of life for a lot of us. But it's almost like we revere those kind of stories, and it's like, oh, so-and-so got slapped around, but look, they survived. And it's like, that should never be our journey all the time, right? And so for whatever it is, for whatever the circumstances are of their relationship, I think it's safe to acknowledge that they were toxic for one another from jump, and they just really shouldn't be together. I'm hoping they both.
I don't even know if that's the case, Dwight. Like, because again, I think April made an extremely valid point when she talked about the context of
we don't know
what transpired in that particular elevator. Like,
I just want to go around saying I'm not saying that it's okay to fuck.
Right. It looked like
wasn't what I was saying.
It just looked like he had a knee-jerk reaction to try to save her. And in the midst of that, it looked like it got physical. But even when he got her in the elevator, he didn't turn around and touch her or get any physical. It wasn't anything close to like.
I'm not
close to like the Ray Rice situation.
I don't want to take the elevator thing out of context. I'm saying dude was looking around and sleeping with other women. Like, that's the nature of why they broke up. And what I'm saying is that's a toxic behavior.
Yes,
that used to get a pass, where we'd be like, "Oh, granddaddy got a whole family on the other end of the block," type of scenarios. That I'm just saying, like, we need to, as a community, in order for us to heal, in order for us to get better, we got to move past like learn bad behaviors. And I'm just saying that I view that as an extension of that.
You know what, Dwight? I'll speak on that very quickly. I would say that I'm going to put the onus and incumbency upon us men have to do better, because I think in a lot of cases we as Black men have perpetuated these behaviors and done this stuff to our women, and our women have stood 10 toes down in the paint with us in the midst of the foolishness that we've rendered and trying to in the name of love and in the name of relationships and in the name of all of that, they've stood by with us. And I think that we as men, we can't say that we're the king of our households and we're the king of our castles and we want to pay the cost to be the boss, but we're out here running around and impregnating any woman that gives us a nice little wink. And another thing that I want to speak about too is that I think that a lot of that is a direct derivative of what we hear in music, because like it's not cool anymore to be a family man. It's not cool to be a man of faith. It's not cool to take care of your kids and have a family and be a one woman man. You know what I'm saying? I think about how we were coming up and the balance. For every Uncle Luke, there was a Jodeci. For every Too Short, there was a 112. For you know what I'm saying? Like there was always some type of balance with that. For every JT Money and Poison Clan, there was Boys to Men. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who might have been talking about the ratchetness, but somebody who was also talking about love and respect and cherishing a woman. So we got that balance. But you don't see that balance with these kids, and it's reflected in their behavior and how they perceive, how they objectify, and how they treat women. Like they really, really, really treat women like a sexual object, and that's their only purpose.
I grew up in that whole world, but I'm just not gonna believe what you're saying. And
I agree. I don't agree with you either, Miles. I think it's part of it.
Yeah, that's just my.
I think that's part of it. But I also do believe that I go back to this word that I tell you every time, Miles, when we get into a debate, culturally conditioned.
Yeah.
It's also, the Bible talks about what comes into your eye gate, your ear gate, and what's coming out of your mouth. And we've allowed a lot of this stuff, whether it's on radio, media, to believe the hype of who we are. And I think as a culture, there's a level of, as I see, an identity crisis with these young kids. You got some women that want to be men. You got some men that want to be women. You believe what you hear on the radio and you act it out as well. I think that's part of it. But I think as a whole, I think we still have to figure out, it's still back to communication. How do we communicate with one another? How do we deal with one another? Right. And it's still choices. It's a decision that you have to make to do right by somebody at the end of the day.
I think a lot of these kids, a lot of these people, they get that stuff from the media because they don't really have anyone here, in their face really giving them that example. I mean, I see it. I know April sees it too all the time in school. These kids don't have solid role models, solid mentors. They're not a part of, the church groups and, the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. And, they don't have these examples around them. So yes, what they see, like you said, Roy, on those gates, right? What they see, what they hear, what they see other people doing, this fast money, this life, this, that is what they then go out and mimic.
Yeah, I think what you're saying, Miles, I agree with. There's part of what you're saying that I agree with. As a man, there's some things you have to handle as a man and take care of. Don't get me wrong. I think it's just part of it. But we also do live in a society where the society does not want to see Dwight, Dana, Lateef, Roy, Miles. They don't want to see us in the home. They don't want us to see us lead our families.
No.
They don't. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I think it's part of it.
Absolutely, Roy. I mean, this has always been my view. I gotta control what I can control. You know what I'm saying? And I can't expect white America to save me from myself because they've proven time and time again that they will not. So when I talk about us galvanizing the troop as black men and doing what's right, I'm talking about us controlling what we can control. We know that every day we step out of our front door, that there is an inordinate amount of racism that we have to face on a daily basis in order to emerge triumphant and raise our families and be the providers and be productive citizens of society. I get that portion. So that's never lost upon me. But as it pertains to me and what we need to do, we exacerbate the problem when we don't take responsibility for our own actions and be the men of God that Christ has called us to be and to lead our families back to the body of Christ. That's something that I can control. That's something that I have to do. And then everything else will take care of itself after that, Roy. So no, I agree with you on that. I definitely agree with you on that.
Miles out here giving a Good Friday sermon. Go ahead, Miles.
But I have to take care of my own responsibilities. I have to take responsibility for my own actions and control what I can control first before I make those claims and cast those dispersions upon white America for the inequality and racism that I have to face every day. Period.
And see, my thing is that, like what Ebony's talking about, all the problems that come up, they try to find a way to justify all of it. So there's nothing wrong with anything anymore. And secondly, I think a lot of us, our culture has been dealing with misplaced aggression for years and years and years. Because you got the black man in the fields, master just degrading him and spitting on him. He can't kill him. So he go to the house. Now, just like you said before, the black woman that stood 10 toes down and had to deal with that and deal with that. And if we were the savages that they try to make us out to be, there'd be a lot of dead folks out there.
A lot more.
I mean, not looking like us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the heinous stuff they did over the years that we had to suck up and just go back in that house and only think about is I'm just tired of watching films like before 1980 anymore because just like you, Miles, it don't do but piss me off.
Dana,
I made a mistake to watch the George Floyd trial.
Yeah.
And I happened to get on the one where the old man was crying. I turned it off.
Hey, Dana, have you ever seen, you might not have, but have you ever seen, there's a TikTok clip of a white girl saying that once she was like, she used to be scared of ghosts. She used to be scared of ghosts. And her father came to her and she said, my father told me that I shouldn't be scared of ghosts. She said, because if ghosts could come back and hurt you, she said, then white people wouldn't exist.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But and back to your point, I mean, we saw a clip it was on TikTok as well, and this young kid, and I agree with him 100%. He's like, I'm tired of watching black movies about overachieving, overcoming racism,
right, the pain movies,
overcoming slavery, 24 hours a slave, just all the. Here's the thing, I have never watched a lot of those movies, so when people ask, I'd be like, no, because here's the thing. I don't want that to drop in my spirit to make me feel a certain way about somebody who's not my color. And here's the thing. I'll say this. Black people are the most loving and forgiving and giving grace despite it all.
That's why they take advantage of it.
To a fault. To a fault.
That's why they take advantage.
And believing. Let's add that in there too.
Look. I agree with that. I know that I forget what year it was, we went through a whole bunch of slavery movies, but we're different. We're a little cohort of, awakened individuals. There's a whole younger society that believes that, it doesn't exist anymore. Let me remind you of what happened not too long ago. It wasn't too long ago. So we need those things to still relive at some point. And they have to be told a different way as opposed to the movies that we watched.
Right.
So, well, I agree with you, Randy. I think that what happens is that just because, and I'm going to go back because I feel like this is like a resounding theme of our show. Everyone is called to different works. There may be someone who is called to speak up about injustice in sports, and they're an athlete, and it's their job to speak about that. I'm just saying,
I'm saying that's my job. My job is to speak out of injustice. That's literally my day job. So.
Let your gifts make room for you. Everyone is not called to do the same things. We all have different jobs to do while we are here. And I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to ask everybody if they were in their passion and their talent right now. Where we are right now in society, but that's another topic. But I just believe that for Roy, it might not be to watch those movies from the past and evaluate Roots and Amistad and all of the different movies that have been out to depict
12 Years as a Slave, Birth of a Nation.
Nonfiction.
I've seen them all, Roy. I've seen them all.
I didn't watch none of them.
Who actually need to see that, and that's okay. Everyone may learn a different way. I may learn from you telling me, Jessica, when you start this type of business, you don't need to do that because that's the way I learn. Other people may need to dip into it to learn that they didn't need to do that and that that's not the way to do it. Everyone is just different, and it just goes back to grace and how you are formulated. And I don't even know how to switch the topic, but did y'all see this?
Oh gosh.
Stop it.
You got to deal with it.
We want to just go to the next topic. We could go to the next topic.
Next topic, man. Next topic, please.
Let's go to the next topic.
What I would say, just real quick.
Dwight. We don't want to hear what you got to say.
Just to close the loop between the two. Just to close the loop between the two, to the point around everyone needing their lane and everyone needing their thing. There are people that just do not have a perspective rooted in the history of Black people enough to to be going out and being reckless with the things that they do with the platforms that they have. And that's universally. But what I would say is that the library of information, whether it be books, movies, etc., that tell the story of our greatness have to be in existence for stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to get educated because they would have to change what they do.
That's what I was going to say when y'all were just talking about talking about this particular generation. I mean, that's a prime example right there. I mean, there's such a big disconnect for him to do something like that and come out in that manner.
He might not know better. He might not even know better. He might not know better.
Hold on. He could be just doing it just for branding purposes to
just be provocative. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, because the more provocative you are, I mean, because when 2 Live Crew came out, I mean, everybody gasped, and especially when they performed on the Phil Donahue show, like they were just like, "Oh my God, what in the world?" And so then,
they always say that. That I was listening to this doctor said that a lot of the doctors didn't realize how smart I was because they were so dumb, right? And yeah, right. And I think with this kid, he has no idea what. I think he has no idea what he's doing.
Well, I will say this, honey, about that. Judas was called for a certain time. And we all have a role to play in history, whether it is edifying or a part of a conversation to enlighten. We may not even like Trump, but I will say that he played a very important part in our history and us taking a step back and realizing the things that we thought were liberties and the things that we thought were just granted to us and we were just moving about our day.
And also the people that were around us.
Well, yeah, and I agree. Here's the thing. I agree with you. I guess my point that I was going to say, it really went back to also 2 Live Crew. Everybody gasped when they first came out until 2 Live Crew went against the law about censorship and then realized how smart they were That's really where I was going with it all.
Well, because Luke is really a nerd. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a nerd and he learned how to capitalize off of what he was doing because a lot of people weren't doing it. But going back, I don't really even see, I wouldn't even put Luke in the 2 Live Crew in that whole conversation. I'm not even sure how we added them in there. I mean,
all I would say is if provocation is if to be provocative is your shtick, the way you capitalize, the way you make money, whether you're Kanye West, Jay-Z, Beyonce, whatever your thing is, as a Black person, and this goes back to the stuff we say about Tiger Woods, if it's not rooted in understanding our people and the struggle we've been through, then you're just doing it at the expense of our people. And I have a problem with that when we say, well, let's get this person a pass. It's like, nah, bro, we've shed too much blood too many times for too many things that other people have benefited from. For somebody who looks like me to come along and be like, I'm just doing this for giggles or I'm just doing this for likes. Nah, fam. If you got a platform, you got to understand the power of that platform and whether it can both hurt, harm, or enhance the culture.
Because he's young and dumb, that's why we need to keep having them movies.
But see, and I would also say this, Ms. Mockin.
I agree, Randy.
I just feel like God's word is just going to be exalted just because of the platform that He has allowed Himself to be used as.
Right. I think Ms. Mockins, you're a prime example of an individual who understands the power of the platform and what it means to bring people with you and uplift instead of down. You know what I'm saying? In a positive light for the culture.
Absolutely.
For the culture.
So, it's like you have a bigger responsibility.
You have a duty.
But you have a duty. You have a
but I think Little Nas has. I think he has no idea. I think he has no idea.
No, he doesn't. You're right, Roy. He don't have no idea.
He has no idea
of anything.
His purpose. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't stop what he's doing because
it will bring glory.
May be to challenge everyone's acceptability of just walking through life and just thinking that everything is grand. I mean, I was getting ready to say something.
Yeah.
Hey, but speak a whole word.
Basically, Jess. So basically, Jess, you giving us the Romans 8:28 treatment. You're giving us the Romans 8:28 treatment. Romans 28. All things work together for the good of them that love the Lord, that are called according to the hallelujah.
Right. You gotta say it.
I mean, I walk in that, and I know that regardless. Come on now.
We gotta do it, Miles. Go, Miles.
Right.
And for us to know that in his ignorance and what he thinks is not doing that may be very callous. At the end of the day, it's gonna work together for God. I mean, he's being used.
Always.
But see, this is my
people who are looking at that stuff is allowing God to have a platform to talk about the things that he wants to be sown into everyone's spirit. I mean, you just
this is my thing.
I say that everybody sees it. I see it.
When they had a big problem with him with the country music, when he was on the Old Boy, when he was going to the top of the country charts.
Absolutely.
Now back then, everybody was preaching brotherly love and the Bible, this and that. So he knows. So I don't think he's ignorant.
Right.
I think he just look. He ain't got nothing to stand for. So
listen, he is part of the plan.
They're gonna
he's part.
He's part of God's plan. That's it.
But here's the thing. Here's why I say he's being used, though. I say he's being used because if when he first came, he could. Well, here's the thing. When he first came out on the whole country road song, he had a bunch of kids in the audience. He was going to them schools, and those kids were following him. And now you come out, those kids might be your same followers. So that's why I say that he might not know how he's being used. Yeah, exactly. So now he come out with this.
He doesn't care. I mean, Paul on the road to Damascus.
Right, Jody.
He was out there.
It's a large conversation.
So you saying Lil Nas is on the road right now? Is that what you're saying?
As far as
he's on the Old Town Road.
He's gonna start going to churches.
I challenge everyone to see the I Am episode with D Wade and how he talks about the parenting, his parenting skills and what he used on his children, and how it was different from the oldest child to the youngest child to the new child, that's the transgender child, and everything, and how he has to evolve himself and learn, and to consistently evolve within this dynamic society by having that conversation. As you say, this is opening up the doors to have conversations about these topics that people, especially in the African American community, tend to shy away from. And it's bringing it to the forefront, and it is that particular platform that is allowing it to manifest itself, so that we can have this station.
I agree, but I think them kids that are following him because he's singing country music don't quite look like us.
Well, even if I'm just saying that he had 1.4 million likes.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's opening up a conversation. It is allowing for this conversation to be had, to allow you as a parent to then say, no, this is right and this is wrong, and you don't know better. And I am putting your life by God to tell you what is right and what is wrong until you have the ability to understand what is right and what is wrong. I'm going to help you to gear your mind towards discernment and understanding what you should like and what you should not like, and understanding the power of the tongue, understanding that you speak life into things and not.
I know this.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I know this. Hey, Ms. Markins, I know this much. His ass want to get sued now, boy, because Nike don't play that, boy.
Nike take all that Old Town Road money.
Right. The sad part about it.
He picked.
Nike taking all that Old Town Road money.
Hey, he picked a fight with the wrong corporation. Boy, they gonna shut.
But here's the thing: it's not him. Here's the thing: it's not him. It's the shoe company. But they're gonna blame him.
Too.
Well, it's him too.
Put him on the lawsuit too.
The question we really should be asking. The question we should be asking is who's his mama? Where's his parents at? That's what we should be asking. Where his mama's dad?
Where's grandma at? Where's grandma at?
Hey, Dwight, isn't our homeboy general counsel for Nike?
He used to be. Andy used to be. Now he's with the NBA Players Association. But he'll be asking for coins on the Old Town Road. He's going to remix the whole song. I'm going to be begging for change on the Old Town Road.
Yeah. No, listen. We're going to see him. He ain't going to be singing no more. Trust.
Right.
Career over.
From the penthouse to the shit house.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. I mean, I'm just saying, if it wasn't that one drop of human blood in them shoes, we wouldn't have been talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of blood, the blood.
That's right. On this
you can't mess with the blood.
Right. Huh. The blood.
Yeah, you can't mess with the blood. You see, you can't mess with that. That's the blood. You can't mess with that.
What's wrong, T?
Oh no,
what?
That's how we go. Watch this.
I think we should sing to him.
What is that? What does that mean, Latif?
I wish I had some stuff from that Reverend Ike.
That's right.
There you go.
Remember Reverend Ike back?
What a conversation.
God or that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
I said we need to end with him.
Listen, he will show up and show out.
Go ahead, Miles.
Grace.
Go ahead, Brother Miles.
That's my grandma's favorite hymn. That's
I don't know that.
You gotta call him. Right, that's old school.
You gotta read the history on that song.
Oh no, I know.
Everybody know that's a hymn, B.
I know the history of it.
Open up your books.
Listen, them hymns are touching soul. These kids
Look at
don't know.
Jody say Reverend Ike prayer cloth. Yes, ma'am.
There it is.
I'm almost saying Reverend Knight couldn't come to my house and get the big piece of chicken. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
I mean, either that or get that Benny Hinn jacket. That Benny Hinn jacket that
he's not coming to my house.
Whoa, listen, slap it. Fall down, slap
get
it.
That Benny Hinn jacket out.
You done got the Holy Ghost. I'm gonna slap it on you.
Benny Hinn. I seen Benny Hinn get a running start by 20 yards.
Listen.
You did with that jacket.
With that jacket.
My other grandma wrote
Benny got a 20-yard start and smacked him with that jacket.
Miles, you remember Grandma getting that letter back from Benny Hinn talking about she took the time out to write her back. That's that grandma.
Oh man!
You talking about my grandma Emily, right? My grandma Emily, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Y'all got me sweating thinking about
Benny. You was like, grandma.
I was like, grandma. I told her, I said, just go to church, grandma. Don't watch him.
Just hey, go ahead and put this in the shredder. Put this in the shredder.
Right.
Oh my goodness!
Put that in the shredder. Let's go on now. All right. Now.
I mean,
I along the lines of what the other one used to come on BET, Peter Paul. He had holy rag,
Peter Popoff.
Holy water.
Peter Popoff. I need that little bit of holy water so I can fix that.
Ooh, all he did was sell holy water.
No, look at right.
Look at Roy.
He push you until you fall down.
Hey, I'm about to hit them Nikes real quick. Hold on, what?
Y'all know I'm sitting over here like, what if he hit somebody with that jacket and they ain't fall down?
I see somebody with them shoes on. I'm running from them. I'm going the other way. I see a nigga with them.
What?
You can fall down.
That's funny. Dwight, you was doing like this with the napkin, and I saw somebody else tapping you. I saw somebody else in your place tapping you, making sure that you were.
This that.
That daggone Benny Hinn had a 20-yard sprint. That's all I'm gonna say. My God.
Nice.
Well, I remember in Second Baptist Church on Easter Sunday, I had a friend who was sitting 2 rows up from me, and I don't know how y'all went to church, but in the 70s, you had on Easter Sunday, you had a hat on,
and you were sleepy because you couldn't go to sleep with them doggone curlers in your head. Anyway,
yeah. So your mama not flat iron, use the hot
comb and candy curl them things.
Yeah, and let me tell you, if she adjusted her hat, she kept adjusting her hat. I don't know what was going on. I'm not gonna say her name. She probably watched. I don't know why she kept adjusting her hat. Well, let me tell you, her mama got a hold of that hat and she smushed it down on her head and grabbed her on the side, like, like that grab that your mama do, like that. And that meant if you touch that one more time,
this grab.
Yes.
Right. And pull it together grab.
Yes. In fact, then in the 70s, when you went to church, you had the ability to kind of sit with your friends. And I had the ability to sit with my friend on that pew and
witness it.
Remember the laughter that came from our toes into our stomachs and out our mouth. When that mama smushed that hat on that girl head. Oh, Jesus.
God.
But see, that's the thing, Jess. Nowadays, that's just like when we were growing up. My homeboys, if they spent the night over my house over the weekend, they knew to bring their church clothes. Because they know on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, because Sunday they know if we spend the night at Miles' crib, we going to church on Sunday. But it ain't no more of that no more. It ain't no more of that.
Right. They ain't no more spending the night because people nowadays.
That's true, Roy. That's true.
I'm just
people
saying.
Crazy.
That's true. I told that story at Olu's wedding. I said, man, me and Olu were so close friends. Shout out to my dog in North Carolina. Man, we didn't even spend the night at each other's house. We used to spend the weekend. Like I'd go over Olu's house on Friday and stay until Sunday, 6:00 till it's time to come home. And he would do the same. He would do the same.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Those were the days.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what? Each generation has their own way of trying to find stuff and figure it out. And it's okay. It's okay. Because you know what? The generation before our generation had the same thoughts. So, all right. It's been another one. Great week. Always fun talking on the culture. Peace out. We'll see you next week.